Hello everyone, TMMgamer here, and today I'm bringing you a very interesting commentary. Now, this commentary follows on from the series of videos I've been doing over the last couple of days, really talking about how to keep your scores high and how to keep winning games when perhaps you aren't really playing as well as you know you can. And this is another really good video of this, because this is a gameplay, just a normal 6v6 domination gameplay on mission. I think it's in the mercenary playlist though, that's the only difference. But it's a game that initially looks like it's going to be a very easy one, because as you can see, with the help of a couple of teammates, I rush forwards, you know, get a perimeter around the B flag, we capture it very easily, get some kill streaks in nice and easily, and it looks like from here on in we're going to win the game very easily. But unfortunately it doesn't turn out that way. The enemy team really begin to pick their game up, and it turns into, I think, the tightest game I've played on Modern Warfare 3 so far, and I've played some pretty tight games, so that is a really high bar that's been set. But it's just, this commentary is going to be about how you adapt your play style to counter the developing threat of the enemy, basically. I think that's the best way to put it, because like I've said, and like you can see at the beginning of the game here, it just looks very easily. It looks very easy, sorry. You know, we've got the B cap nice and early, established map control, and although my aim's letting me down a little bit, it's going relatively well. But this is when the pressure starts to come on. They very nearly capture B in a minute. I think it's only some pretty good last gasp defending from me and another guy that keeps them off the B flag. But you can tell that they start to slowly work their way back into the game. And at the start, I don't really notice this, because as you can see at the moment, I am in kill mode at the moment. This is the mode I sort of play when I think I'm up against a pretty woeful team, or I'm feeling pretty confident. And at the moment it's the latter, because this was my first game back from after exams, so I hadn't played Modern Warfare 3 in about 14-15 days, so I was feeling pretty rusty. But I came into the game, obviously we took B very early and very easily, pardon me, and I thought we were going to win this one easily. So I was trying to be aggressive, and when I'm in my kill mode, I try and flank, I try and get around the back, take them, you know, shoot them from angles they aren't expecting, because when you run and face someone head on, your chance of success is dependent on gun skill, connection, you know, a lot of things that are out of your control. But if you can flank around the side of someone, you are heavily on top in that gunfight. You can shoot them in the back. It doesn't matter if your aim's slightly off, because the vast majority of people operate on about 3 or 4 sensitivity. So if you shoot someone in the back and you don't kill them, they are going to turn around fairly slowly, so you have enough time to pull the action back on your shotgun, even if you've got a SPAS-12 like this, and take them out. That was a nice little streak. But it starts to slowly wind down, and I very nearly managed to defend the B flag there, and I had to hop off to avoid that stealth bomber coming through. But this is where it begins to get tight, because we've built a relatively comfortable lead at the beginning of this game, but now they begin to get back on top. And this is the part of the game where you have to make some sacrifices. If you want to win this game, you've got to sacrifice your KD to do it, because when you're up against an enemy team, yes, you can sit back and pick kills off and try and get your good kill streaks, but at the end of the day, that's not really going to win you many games, especially when you're against some teams who are very determined to get on top of objectives, as this team were here. You can see that they are just piling on and around the B objective, trying to push us off. Now, the benefit of being on a small map like Mission, for example, as you've probably seen, the vast majority of places I spawn in are within a grenade throw of B. Now that is very useful when you have B. However, when you're trying to capture the B flag, it's very dodgy, because even if you can clear the flag, because there's no spawn delay in domination, when the enemy team spawn back in, they can get their grenades out very quickly. So what it means really is you've got to have a bit of a coordinated push, which is difficult in Mercenary, because, like you know, Mercenary you have no parties at all, so it's only just lone wolves. And I quite like that normally when I'm not playing in a party, because it just stops you running into the 6v6 American party who will just decimate you, because they've got 6 players who know what they're doing on a connection that's much better than yours. So it helps avoid that quite a lot. But one of the problems of playing a mercenary is in a situation like this. Now, you are up against a team that knows what they're doing. You are with 5 people you've probably never played of before, and even if you have played with them before, they won't remember you and you won't remember them, so you're struggling a bit here. However, there are some things you can do. Now, I do have a mic, and when I started this game, I'd switched it off. I was just chilling. You know, I had my headset on, but I wasn't talking to people. Now, what I was slowly doing in the gameplay, as it got tighter and tighter, I switched my mic back on and just saying, right, giving shout-outs, telling people where people are, saying, let's go to the left, let's go to the right, try and get on the flag. That is one thing you can do, and that is a really, really crucial thing to do, because you would be surprised how often random people listen to you. You know, a lot of people expect that when you talk to randomers or you're in a party of randomers, they won't listen to you at all. And this is a horrible hit marker there. I hit that guy square in the chest and he doesn't die, but never mind. When you talk to randomers, they will listen to you 9 times out of 10. So if you go, there's an enemy camping on A-dom, be careful, of course they'll listen to you because it's giving them help that will help get them better scores. So, you know, the one thing to bear in mind though is when you are playing with a team of random players, try not to be like too hectoring, because then that's when you begin to annoy them, and annoying your teammates isn't the best way to win games, but giving them clear instructions, saying, right, B looks clear, let's get on the flag now. Things like that, relatively simple instructions, because the vast majority of people out there won't know the call-outs. So if you go, oh, it's in hangar B, they won't know where that is. But if you go, right, there's a guy on B, Dom, be careful, you know, 99% of players will understand that. And because we're looking to push ourselves into that elite band of players, we can do a very, very important role in helping your teammates get onto the flags. And using your teammates effectively is one of the best ways to win any sort of gameplay, but especially a domination game, because domination games are just so important, so team orientated, because one player will not be able to hold down 2 flags on his own. You will need at least some assistance from 2 or 3 other teammates, even intermittent assistance, to hold those flags. So it's very, very important that not only do you not just charge in there and get yourself killed, you try and develop a little bit of a rapport with your teammates, even if they don't have their mics themselves. Even if you just go very clear and calm instructions, you'll get a lot of response, a lot more response than perhaps you're expecting. So that really is the main tip. Just because you're not in a party doesn't mean people won't listen to you. So give a few little helpful hints and you'd be surprised how much response you get. But the main tip of this video is playstyle more than anything, because at the start of the game you saw me trying to flank, trying to get kills, trying to be, you know, a little bit more wolf-like, lone wolf-like, and get just a good score. But as this game gets tighter, you see me become a lot more gung-ho towards the objective. I mean, I completely outsmarted that guy here. You know, great, that's a really good tip. Bouncing flash grenades off the floor, around corners, or off walls to stun them and then semtex them out. That's a very, very good way to get yourself an easy kill. But now the game is getting much tighter, I'm a lot more objective-orientated. In my opinion, when you like crushing an opponent, there's absolutely nothing wrong with trying to get into their spawn and rip them apart, because you're not really messing it up for anyone. By doing that, you're just trying to get kills for yourself. So there's no real problem, in my eyes anyway, in doing that. But the problem starts when you try and flip spawns regularly in a tight game like this, because then you have a very, very strong chance of getting triple capped. And in a tight game, you cannot afford to get triple capped. So what we've managed to do here, and what I change up, is I just don't try and flip the spawns. I don't try and get in the enemy spawn. What I do try and do is fence them in, because once you've lost map control, you have to re-establish it before you can do anything. And just because you've got 2 objectives doesn't mean you've got map control, because whilst you might be holding that B flag, the enemy might be pretty entrenched around it. As you can see, like in the last minute or so, there's been a lot of occasions where the enemy have been in and around B, and even though we've captured that objective, we don't have map control until we've fanned out, got outside of the immediate objective area and pushed them off. So if you haven't done that, do it pretty swiftly, because establishing map control is the most important thing, and changing your playstyle to establish it is my main tip of the day. if you've been going a bit gung-ho, if you've been going for kills and it hasn't been working, if the game's slowly getting a little bit too tight for your own comfort, get on the objectives as fast as possible, and as you can see here, you can recover it. I mean, we very, very nearly lost that game, but in the end, we managed to get it together, get a little bit of coordination, it doesn't need much, get on objectives, and eventually we managed to get the win. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed the tips. I think the recording was a little bit dodgy in this. A few times the video skips a little bit, so I apologise for that, but I really wanted to upload this gameplay because it's a very, very interesting watch, and it comes with several very, very interesting and useful tips that if you guys put into action, you'll see your win-loss go through the roof. So guys, thank you again for sitting here and listening to me chat on for about 11 minutes. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and as always, have a fantastic day.